At first, it wasn't a conversation, it was a brief, and it was a fairly open-ended brief. And basically, the brief from Eurofighter was that they wanted a new emotional film.
So Phil reached out to me and we talked about some things that would really make it unique, really stand out. And for me, it's always about pushing the envelope. It's about doing something new, doing something no one's seen before.
It's not a secret that I'm a huge fan of the Top Gun movies, and I absolutely admire what Tom Cruise is doing for aviation and military aviation as such. But Tom and Jerry Bruckheimer, they really gave us a hard time, because after Top Gun Maverick, everybody who's watching aircraft clips is expecting the real thing. So our clear mantra was, get as close to the jet and as realistic as possible.
Top Gun Maverick was a big inspiration for this on many levels. And so there's the dynamic aerial air-to-air part, and then there's the low-level part. So that really became an obvious association with what we could do for this Eurofighter film. So the obvious thing there was, well, we go and film a Eurofighter like it's never been seen before, like it's never been filmed before. Really give it that wow factor so people can look at it and go, crikey, how did they do that?
So that was the ambition. But there was quite a big chunk of that was quite uncertain, in the sense of we were promising that we were going to be able to film low-level stuff of a Typhoon and air-to-air stuff of Typhoons. And actually, I'm sitting there, I don't have access to a Typhoon.
The big question was, where do we get some Typhoon jets and crews that are doing what we want?
It's all very well having a camera ship, but if you haven't got something to film, then you're not going to get it. So we started going down that road, and we worked with BAE Systems, who were so helpful. And we started to really put that plan together.
Working with another aircraft, the first thing we need to do is a risk assessment. So we did a really detailed risk assessment of what could go wrong and how we were going to avoid it. Then we set about constructing exactly where we wanted to put the aircraft, what speed, what circles we were going to fly in order to be in position and make it all happen.
Blighty really was the great asset for us, and I mean, to me, he's my personal hero. I mean, excellent flying skills, a real commitment to our project, and this unmistakable instinct for which risk can be taken and what goes too far. So, truly remarkable.
So how did we do it differently? For the air-to-air, I've typically flown in the back seat of a jet, but actually the back seat isn't ideal. You've got canopy in the way, you've got a bit of vibration. So it was about getting that really beautiful flowing kind of shot with the camera system that deploys out the bottom of the aeroplane. So we had an ambition of how we were going to film it. And of course, then you've got to bring it all together with the airplanes, the airborne assets.
We took 2 Typhoons and flew them in formation with the Piper Aztec, which had the camera rig set up on it for air-to-air filming. That's obviously a slower aircraft, so we had to do some clever tricks with turn circles to cater for the speed difference.
We shot it in one take, actually, because it was at the start of the sortie. And I think we actually had camera rolling time of 13 minutes. And in that time, the jet has to go and reset, and has to go and reset and reset. So our actual available time was a few seconds at a time, probably only a minute of actually having the Typhoon on camera. And you've got to make that minute really count. So that's all done in the planning, because once you're in the air, there can be no room for uncertainty. Everyone needs to be absolutely on the same page, and then you walk out and you go and fly it.
It was fantastic. Like the shots were incredible. Just when the Typhoon tears away and it just puts his afterburners on, it's just gorgeous.
When you talk about low-level flying, most people's thoughts go to the Mach Loop in Wales, because it's very well known. And the Mach Loop's great. It's tight valleys, and it's really dramatic. The problem is that it's quite samey. It's almost one shot. We wanted a bit more variety of shots whilst doing it from essentially one location. So we decided to go for the Lake District. There's places you can go there where you can go and do stuff to give you that variety of shot.
I cross here, pull inverted,
down, waving back towards water.
And what I started to realise was it was all about seeing the jet in front of ground. So in order to do that, you need to get up quite high. So there was Rhino's Pass, Wasdale Head, and then I think it was Ennerdale. There were 3 locations. We went to all 3. Wasdale Head, which seemed to offer more opportunities, was also the hardest to get to by a very significant chunk, but it by far and away was the best location. It was a fairly challenging ascent.
The kit itself, the camera equipment, had a huge impact on how we were going to do it, because you could shoot it on a wide angle handy cam, like the kind of film that you see regularly of low level jet, but we wanted it to be long lens, right down the lens at the jet coming at you.
We wanted to get really high quality, ultra high definition, high frame rate stuff on incredible cinema lenses. I mean, these lenses are about that big. They weigh a lot.
Phil and I discussed it at length, and we decided that the place that we should go for was really inaccessible. And in fact, so inaccessible that getting up there with the kit was going to be a real issue. A real issue.
It was like, well, if we're going up on top of the hill and we're getting a Typhoon flying around, we've got to go for it.
Phil went out and bought a load of stuff that was going to help us drag the kit up the hillside, literally, carry it all, with the sole aim to be that amazing shot, that shot with the right camera kit in our one take opportunity.
Here he is, have you got him?
On one day with no backup.
So there were 9 of us from Mocha who were doing this, and those nine people had to carry up that hill 4 camera units, 4 sets of sticks, 2 of which were heavyweight sticks, but the heaviest thing of all were the tripod heads.
I don't know if you can see how much stuff I'm carrying here. That's a lot.
Every single person did a shift that day.
Good weather in somewhere like the Lake District is unpredictable. It's really unpredictable, as is availability of aeroplane serviceability, all that kind of thing. We were running out of time because they were very, very busy with their flight test. We had one day and we had to go for it.
What you've got to imagine as well is like the number of false starts that we had. We had people booked in, and like 24 hours before the jet became unserviceable, we had to cancel everything. It was really touch and go. In the end, we put all our eggs into one basket.
That day, we all set off up the hillside. It was lovely in the morning. We knew the weather was going to get worse as the day went on. And, your eyes are fixed at the sky, looking at the clouds, and you're thinking, is he going to get in? Is he going to be able to fly this? Is this going to happen? We've done everything. We've got everything here. All the pieces are here. Can he fly it? Can he fly it?
The fog for the low level, that was significant because we need good enough visibility to see terrain, to see where we're going, to fly low level. We've also got to stay clear of the cloud. We do not want to be in cloud when we're near the ground, so we need to see and avoid that. It was challenging on the day.
It was changing by the minute, the cloud. And then we knew it was roughly time, and we could hear him in the distance.
There he is! Around the corner!
There was kind of a cap of fog and cloud, so I had to position myself underneath that in order to get down the valley.
He's literally flying nose first right into the lens. At that moment, there's a little bit of vapor, and the clouds just parted for him, so we can just get him coming towards us, and he flies over the top of us, and obviously he's in the cloud again. But it felt like more magical because of that.
It was like an unbelievable scene from Lord of the Rings. It all melted away, and this jet just came around the corner so impressively and was at us, up and over us, and gone, dived back into the valley again in seconds.
I'm working in this industry now for 20 years, but I've never had a Typhoon so close over my head. And they're all behind the scenes pictures where you can really see how close it was. And if it all hadn't happened in milliseconds, I would have wet my pants, 100%.
Having the Typhoon flying over you at that speed, and you're standing there, you feel so exposed, you feel so vulnerable. The sound of that thing, the speed of it. If you mess with Typhoon, you're going to have a bad day.
I'm very lucky in that I'm able to fly this incredible aircraft, but I'm also an aviation enthusiast, and I love to see well put together footage of an aircraft in a good environment. And this really nailed the brief for me. And you can tell that it's real footage, the real aircraft and what it does with the vortices coming off the wings and so on. CGI and AI is not that good yet.
It went as well as we could have possibly hoped. The weather, the clouds, everything worked for us. It made it more dramatic, it made it more spectacular, and the shots are just insane. And I think it was our promise as well to say, we're going to film Typhoon like it's never been filmed before, and we did that.
To do this in the real world, rather than it being done digitally, for me, it gives credibility. It underscores the ability for this aeroplane to go out and do this stuff. This isn't an aspiration. This isn't a pipe dream. You haven't done it in CGI. You've done it for real. You've got a real capability, a real aeroplane doing real things. That to me is really important because it demonstrates from a program perspective that you can do it.
This is definitely something nobody in our positions ever did before. I'm really proud of what we achieved as a crew, and for every one of us, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
When he's coming along the valley floor, and you just see this grey shape cutting across all these dark trees, and then Lee just goes in tighter on that lens. Just that moment of that little zoom in, and he's such an amazing cinematographer, he does it so beautifully. Just that moment when he zooms in, you're like, yeah, it was worth it.